Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond the Boundary, your daily cricket show, right here on TOI Sports Digital. And I'm Chandresh Narayanan. And today we have two very special guests here, yet again joining us on this channel. First up is Dwaipan Datta, straight from his home in Chennai. And we have Nitin Naik joining us from Mumbai. But we'll
Hi.
start the show today with Nitin because we are not happy with all these people from Chennai because we have the comments from a Chennai born former cricketer. So we'll start with Nitin because we are angry with Dwaipan. Nitin, uh, now that the tournament is well and truly underway and we already have two semi-finalists, finally it has dawned on some experts that maybe the entire schedule is designed to help India. We've had comments from Michael Atherton and from Nasser Hussain, and also some
Pat,
comments from Pat Cummins. How do
Pat
you see
Cummins.
this whole thing? This whole thing was like known a couple of months ago. Why is it
Yeah.
that only now people have started realizing that?
One maybe because they might end up playing India in Dubai. One of the reasons could be that. But yeah, it's a bit of a delayed reaction. But it is an advantage, isn't it? I mean, let's face it. It has been an advantage for India to know the playing conditions, to pick the team for those conditions, to not have to travel, to be in the comfort of the same dressing room, to feel the ground, to know the dimensions, to know which side of the boundary is shorter, which side is longer. But then again, these doubts or these what do I say? These so-called advantages for India should have been pointed out much earlier, not now when the tournament is almost halfway through, and we've also had the first washout today. It's just what do I say? I mean, it's sour grapes, should I say? Although they haven't yet played India, but I feel that they're all fearing um, playing India in those conditions. They could still end up beating India. I mean, why are they discounting the fact that they could end up beating India in Dubai? India can have a bad day. So it's just a bit strange and needless to say.
Dwapan, we are angry with you guys from Chennai because Nasir Hussain, born in Chennai, played a bit of his formative years in Chennai as well. For him to make a comment like this, not on Dwapan, please step out and tell everybody.
No, but what they're saying is true, na? Like it is true. Just that ICC doesn't do anything about it. The entire money is from India. Your T20 World Cup, India was the only team who knew where they will play the semi-final. They were the only team who were only playing day matches. So it has been the case. Now, if ICC's only aim is to make money out of the media rights, the money that that generates out of India, then it is going to be like this. Everything is in India's favor. It will be the game is such that there can't be there is not much they can do about it. But there is no point crying horse now. Like if they had a problem, they should have said it up front. They should have done something about it. They could have moved the tournament out of Pakistan, whatever. I don't know what the, but there is no point talking about it now. Of course, it is heavily favored in heavily loaded in favor of India. There is absolutely no doubt about it. What they are saying is completely right. Just that it's a little too late.
Yeah, absolutely. Nitin, if you look at the schedule of the ICC Champions Trophy, you'll see that India, rightly or wrongly, now has a 6 day gap in their schedule, whereas the others are crisscrossing within Pakistan, playing matches. Even New Zealand have a 5 to 6 day gap now. Uh, could anything else have been done with the schedule? Or this is the best that could have been done?
Once India, I think, refused to tour Pakistan, I think this is the best that they could do. What the ICC could have done to introduce a semblance of fair play was maybe have India's matches spread across all three Emirate regions. one match in Abu Dhabi, one match in Dubai, and one match in Sharjah, so that India does not have the advantage of play no of the conditions of the ground and the dimensions of the ground and the what do I say the knowledge of playing on tired pitches, which might happen. Although now with the 6 day break, I think the curator would have enough time to work on that pitch and make it a little more batting friendly and less spin friendly. But I feel that they could have moved the tournament out. But I mean, I was seeing the other schedules uh, post the IPL money started, making India a very dear friend to all the other boards and all the other overseas cricketers. Uh, uh, you know, I was seeing the schedule of the 2012 T20 World Cup and the 2014 T20 World Cup, which was happening in Sri Lanka and in Bangladesh. In Sri Lanka, India played all its matches in Colombo, and in 2014, India played all its matches in Dhaka in
Mirpur.
Mirpur. All the yeah in Sri Lanka, all I mean the other countries ended up playing games in Palekele as well as Colombo, whereas in 2014, teams had to play in Chittagong as well as in Mirpur. So we've had this bias even then, but just that now that because the tournament was plucked out of half the tournament rather was plucked out of Pakistan because of political differences between India and Pakistan, we've had issues now, being raised by former players. I must say that they're all valid reasons, and it does create heartburn, and it does create controversy. But I feel that it is a little too late. What should have happened was all the other teams combined should have raised an objection that no, if at all India are playing its matches out of Pakistan, then let it be spread across all three emirate regions, not just in Dubai.
Fair point. I was just looking at the schedule of the 2013 Champions Trophy, which India won. They started off in Cardiff, moved to the Oval, then to Birmingham, and then back to Cardiff, and then to Birmingham. And then in 2017, India alternated between Birmingham and the Oval. So
Yeah.
it's not like unknown uh, for India to be like in one or two venues. 2013 they were moving around a lot, but in England, like in UAE, it is easier because you're either traveling by train or by bus. You're not expending as much energy as say you would crisscrossing between Karachi and Lahore, or Lahore and Pindi, or in this case Islamabad. Is that then a valid point in your view, Dwapar?
See, when 2023 World Cup was starting, just before because the first match was in Chennai, in the press conference, Rohit Sharma said that we are out on a Bharat Darshan because we are playing in 10 venues. So basically, playing in India, it was difficult for them because they had to move everywhere and make everyone happy. Where Pakistan was playing in Hyderabad, a couple of matches they played there, couple of matches they played in Chennai. It was like that. So. Yes, this traveling, etc. I think what Nitin says is a fair point. Is a fair point, but only. Then the logistics is involved. I'm sure the television companies, the broadcasters wouldn't have been happy shifting all their material from one venue to another, another venue to another, and not knowing where the semi-final is, final is. So all those things, the overhead costs had to be taken into account. There are so many things, but having said all that, ICC should think about these things beforehand. Like there is no point discussing this at this stage of the tournament and crying foul over it. The horse has been bolted, and let's be fair about one more thing. India is a superior side than these teams in these conditions. What, even if they were playing in South Africa, they would probably have beaten most of them. So, having said everything, it is also true that India is a far superior side than at least the two teams that they have beaten so far in the Champions Trophy. They would have beaten them with their third team also.
One man who's not complaining at all about India's long break and the advantage that they have is someone who has just joined us from Dubai, Gaurav Gupta, because reports coming out of Dubai, highly placed sources have confirmed that Gaurav Gupta spent a lot of time shopping yesterday in Dubai, and he's going to have more of the same today as well because the Indian team is on break. So Gaurav Gupta is also on break. So Nitin, if you're waiting for a copy from Gaurav, you'd have to wait longer because he's not working today.
No, no,
Gaurav,
he's just smashed two already. So
oh
we're
my
just
God,
waiting for the third one.
my God. I suppose they're as small a copy as Gaurav usually files, 300, 350
Yeah, yeah,
words.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Of course, of course.
that's his style. That's his style. If you tell him a word count, he'll stick to the word count. Gaurav,
Chandresh, I wish I could fly down to meet you right now. It's been a tough time here, yeah. There's been nothing to do. Absolutely botched up tournament. Of all seven teams are playing. Seven teams are playing at one place, and the eight team is at another place where we have nothing to do for a week. I don't know how and why the ICC comes up with these, absolutely weird scheduling. I keep saying. It's just and then I think what Nasser Hussain and Michael Atherton what they've said is correct. They have a fair point, but just that as Joypanta said, there's no point in talking about it right now because unfortunately the political situation and everything compels us to this kind of a position, which is obviously completely unfortunate and sort of unavoidable. But it is a sad state of affairs because one team should not be getting this kind. But then India has also traveled a lot in previous World Cups. Around India, in Australia, during 22 World Cup. So, like because of they're such a popular team and everybody wants to see their matches, but still an extremely undesirable situation.
Dwaypan, you were in West Indies and USA last year. The Indian team played a couple of matches in New York. Then they played another match elsewhere in the States before they moved to the Caribbean islands. So it's not like they haven't done the usual merry-go-round like the other teams have. You famously mentioned the 2023 ODI World Cup. So it's not like they always have the advantage. The only advantage is that they know where their semi-final was going to be last year in the T20 World Cup. But Pakistan also knew that they'll play the 2023 ODI semi-final in Kolkata. So that was not hidden from anyone even then. So why is it only about India always?
Well, because India wins all the time, that could be the reason. If Pakistan was winning, then we might have been complaining probably. But because that's not the case, so these questions come up as and when when the winner is running away with it, then obviously the others will question. And about the T20 World Cup, I will tell you one more thing, that traveling, of course, traveling it was crazy traveling for everyone, including the players, etc. Like the way they were traveling, like with like cramped flights, there are hardly any flights, all those things. And but the only advantage that India got in that tournament was all day matches, which meant that their spinners could be always they could always be unleashed because there was no dew, nothing. It was conducive for their spinners. Dry pitches, day matches. That was one thing that was going in favor of India in West Indies. Having said that, then again I will come back to the same point, Chandresh. Like India is a good team. Let's face it. Like there is, if there are, whatever tournament India is a semi-finalist by default. So it comes down to basically two games. They sometimes lose the semi-final or the final. They don't win the tournament more often than not. But yeah, but they are saying, which is, when was the last time India did not make a semi-final of an ICC tournament? So they are that good. So it's okay.
It's okay. Uh, uh, the tournament continues even today, but unfortunately, today's match between Australia and South Africa has been abandoned without a ball being bowled. We have a question here from Akshay Vinayagam. He says, Nitin, I want you to take this. What about today's abandoned match? Will it affect qualification scenario? Could you please explain?
It will leave. I think England would have preferred that one of the teams would have lost and ended up with only 2 points, so that maybe tomorrow, had they won against Afghanistan, then they also come up to two. What happens now is both the teams get 3 points. With Australia still having to play Afghanistan and South Africa having to play England. So I think that is England would, I think, be a little bit upset about today's result. But for a change, I think South Africa did not have to go through DLS method, because South Africa reign an ICC tournament, somehow the other conspire in every major tournament, and they end up it ends up being very disadvantageous to them right from 1992. So but yeah, it does affect, I think, England. I think they'll be a little bit upset that one of the teams did not stay at two and both the teams got 3 points.
Gaurav, India is sitting pretty after having qualified, thanks to Rachin Ravindra, who inflicted a lot of pain on India when he toured India with the New Zealand Test team. Uh, what's the mood in the camp? Have you had a chance to talk to anybody, anyone around the team? Anything that you picked up? Any chatter that you picked up about the mood in the camp?
Not really. The team is staying pretty much far away, I think, at a five-star hotel. But they seem to be in good spirits. Overall, they've been in good spirits. In the preview to the match that I met a couple of players, they seem to be in high spirits. They seem to be very decent. This thing mood, and they were pretty gung ho. They were not feeling any pressure of the India Pakistan match, and they seem to be joking around. I saw Shreyas and Virat joking with each other, and they share a particular rapport with each other, which is nice to see. They're obviously they're back together in the middle order. They've shared a few partnerships. So I think they're just looking to relax. They have a practice session tomorrow evening. That's what we've been told, tomorrow at 6 p.m. local time. So after the 2 day break. So which is a well-deserved break, because they have done well to beat the Asian rivals. And overall, the mood seems to be nice. I mean, nothing. I mean, I hope the only slight concern would be Mohammad Shami's leg, and I hope it was just cramps and nothing else. From what I have tried to find out, there's nothing more than that, and things are fine. So let's hope that all stays well, and everybody is good to go when action resumes from Sunday.
We have a comment from Tanya Suri, but before that, we have a comment from Urvashi. We'll come to Sahil, who has just joined us from Dubai. Urvashi Rao asks the question, Dwaipenda, I respect you and your experience, but Dada, why are you always so honest with your views?
So, is she being tongue in cheek by the word with the word honest, or is she expecting me to be dishonest? I'm
No,
trying
no,
to figure that.
there is no air quotes in the honest bit.
Okay,
So
so is it a norm to be dishonest when you are talking Indian cricket? I would like to
yeah,
know it from her.
yeah. So she's saying that you're very honest always. So
Yeah, that is
obviously, so
right.
she's obviously respecting.
Okay, then yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. The construction of the sentence seems that she's not happy with the fact that I'm trying to be honest. But if she's happy with it, I'm also happy with it.
Let's hope. But one guy in Dubai who's working very hard, and you can say LY in the within the bracket, is Sahil, because unlike Gaurav, who's cooped up in his room, Sahil is out and about, and he's actually picking up the sights and sounds of Dubai. Sahil, thanks a lot for joining us from Dubai and giving us a feel of Dubai, whereas good friend Gigi is online from his room. What's the mood like in the camp? Have you picked up anything from the Indian camp? Because there's a lot of talk, chatter about Nasser Hussain, Michael Atherton, Pat Cummins. Is there any response at all from the Indian camp, or nothing at all, as always?
Nothing at all, as always, Chandresh bhai. I think though these were two well hard-earned days of off, and they are, I think, by themselves in the team hotel, shopping around in and around the city. Again, your city, so you know better than me. And 2 days of chill for everyone. Likewise for us also. So good day to hit the beach and see. and KSR was there in Dubai, so we were spending some time with him. Wanted him to get on the live session, but he had a flight to catch later in the day. Uh, so relax so far. They have an evening session tomorrow. They'll be training from 6 p.m. at the ICC Academy, and then you would see what's happening with Rishabh Pant, because I think that's the biggest talking point right now, because I can say that Rishabh Pant he didn't step out of the dressing room in that India Pakistan game. So is he happy? Is he sad? Is he angry? But something is definitely wrong, because Rishabh Pant ने अपना कदम बाहर नहीं रखा dressing room से. If you would have seen the customary handshakes closely, Rishabh Pant wasn't there. If you would have seen the fielding medal video closely, Rishabh Pant wasn't there. The management is maintaining that he came to the ground, and you can't come to the ground without 15 players. But something is definitely off with Rishabh Pant. So tomorrow is the day when you actually find out कि उसका वायरल कितना वायरल था, कि अभी हर वक्त ऋषभ पंत वायरल हुआ हुआ है. मेरे दिमाग में तो ओनली ही इज रिवॉल्विंग व्हाट्स एक्चुअली हैपनिंग विद ऋषभ पंत, बिकॉज I didn't see him at all during the India Pakistan game, and to me that was something strange, because it was the day when India were fielding first. You wanted everyone on drinks duty. Yes, Rishabh Pant was down, he was under the weather and everything. Abhishek Nair was filling in for him during the drinks interval, pouring those glasses and bottles for everyone, so that Arshdeep Washi and who's the third one? I forget his name. Arshdeep, Washington Sundar, one more, no, Varun
Uh,
Chakravarti. They were doing the drinks duties. So Rishabh wasn't there, and I hope it's just the under the weather, because we tend to read between the lines a lot. So that's what I'm keenly looking forward to tomorrow. Practice session 6 p.m. in the evening. So let's see whether Rishabh Pant actually turns up. And with Chami, I was hearing to Gigi Bhai, yes, there was a concern there, and looks like it was more of a cramp, because it was very hot. It was dry hot. बिल्कुल हवा नहीं चल रहा था जैसे अभी. Dubai has been very pleasant today. It has been the nippiest morning I've woken up to in Dubai for the last 8-10 days now since I've been here. And अभी हवा चल रहा है, बहुत तेज चल रहा है, and it doesn't feel hot at all. So it's going to be pleasant, at least for today. Very, very pleasant.
Nitin, is Sahil reading too much into that Rishabh Pant situation, or uh, is it fair for him to read too much into it?
I mean, it's these are his observations, so he's entitled to them. So uh, I also did not see him, which does which does raise a few questions. But then uh, we always have these thoughts that come into our heads, like when there was this you would remember that there was this famous story when Azhar got his third consecutive 100 in Kanpur in that 1984-85 series against England. There was a huge uproar made about Gavaskar not being on the balcony, but he was applauding from inside. So these things these things do crop up occasionally, but I hope that everything is fine in the camp. I mean, there were reports of he and Gambhir not being on the same page ever since Melbourne in Australia. But I hope that now that the team is doing so well and they are so close to another ICC trophy, I hope that any discord in the team, if there is any, it's quickly buried.
Dwepan, how do you see this situation? Because I believe Shubman Gill did come out and say that Rishabh Pant is unwell, down with a viral fever. But the fact that he came to the ground but was not seen visibly anywhere, uh, is there a situation brewing there?
See, I don't know whether there's a situation brewing there, but the thing is, uh, in this day and age, when there is so much competition, I do not think these are things which are disciplinary issues, no. And if it actually happens, then it becomes very big. So I don't think a player of Rishabh Pant's stature will do that. Even if he is unhappy, he will not do that thing of not carrying the drinks, not doing the team duties. Those things I do not think he will do that, because those are disciplinary issues and which can go against him. And India is such a country that suddenly tomorrow Sanju Samson comes and scores a 150, and then they may say that okay, fine, you are not needed. The way it happened with Ishan Kishan, he is nowhere. He was almost there in the test team, all three formats, and then now he's nowhere. So I don't think he will do that. He is not a fool, I think. He has every right to be unhappy, for not being there in the first 11. But I will be surprised if he did something. If he did that because he doesn't want to carry drinks, not being in the 11. I don't think he will do that.
Just as we wind up this discussion, Sahil, two teams are out of the competition, and one of them is Bangladesh, Dwaipan's favorite team. Now, with Bangladesh, once again, flattering to deceive. Uh, what do you think is happening? Because they're also in a process of churn with Shakib not being selected, Tamim retiring, not retiring, a few of the guys being unwell, unfit, Litton Das being dropped. Where do you think Bangladesh is heading right now in one day cricket?
No, I think from what I saw of them in that game against India, I think it's just about them undergoing that transition and just give them like 10, 12 months. They'll probably challenge you more than Pakistan. That's the way they have been operating. They didn't look that bad against New Zealand. They didn't get big runs on the board, but the start was good with the ball, right? So ऐसा नहीं है they are like just being the also rans in the tournament, which Pakistan are right now. Pakistan are your also rans. They're not just challenging, not posing any threat whatsoever. So if you would ask me to pick one opposition out of the two, I would still rate Bangladesh higher than Pakistan, primarily because they're trying things differently. They're getting new players. Hridoy is doing well. Naid Rana is doing well. Jaker had a good knock against India. So these are big positives for that side, which is undergoing a transition, as you mentioned. Litton Das, Shakib kind of phasing out, and the younger blood coming in. So Bangladesh, you will still have hope. But with Pakistan, you don't really have any hope because इसके अलावा प्लेयर कौन है? अगर नसीम शाहीन और हारिस रौफ चले जाते हैं, who are your three pacers? Can you name three pacers on your fingers right now who can replace them? That's the sorry state of affairs of Pakistan cricket. They just haven't explored that bench strength because domestic structure has absolutely gone for a toss. Listen to Wasim Bakar, what they've been discussing on that show. You will kind of एक आइडिया लग जाता है यार कि बिल्कुल किसी को फर्क ही नहीं पड़ रहा और वही सेम लोग खेली जा रहे हैं. बाबर ओपन कर रहा है, बाबर 3 आ रहा है, रिजवान नीचे आ रहा है, रिजवान ऊपर आ रहा है. So Bangladesh I'm not really worried about, but it's very unfortunate that within the first four days of the tournament, two teams have been knocked out, and both of them were kind of keeping that Asian flag high, right? Bangladesh and Pakistan, you would expect them to do well, but the standard of cricket has deteriorated, and Sri Lanka hasn't even qualified. So अभी सिर्फ इंडिया अफगानिस्तान बचे हैं यार.
Nitin, tomorrow is a big game in Group B, England, Afghanistan. You could have one more team being knocked out tomorrow. How do you see that contest going? Because both those teams are on the edge, especially England. Because if they get beaten once again by Afghanistan, considering all the political issues also that they have with Afghanistan,
Yeah.
uh, it could really mean curtains for certain players, especially their captain.
Yeah, I think he'll lose his job. I think this is because it'll be the third straight white ball tournament where they haven't done well. I mean, although they qualified for the semis in the 2024 T20 World Cup, but I don't think they beat any team of note over there. So yeah, Butler's. I mean, if you saw also his reactions post the defeat to Australia, he looked like a man beaten. He looked distraught, very down in the dumps, and I covered the fifth T20 at the Wankhede when Abhishek Sharma got that great 100 and his press conference. You should have just seen his expressions. He's just. Uh, and I don't know why he's batting at number six. Really, I mean, and on a pitch like Lahore, I really did not understand why he came into bat at number six. He should ideally bat in the top four or maximum top five. And there are a couple of other players like Liam Livingston and all. I don't think who have really justified the top billing that they end up getting in every IPL auctions. I don't know what's happening with a gun all rounder like Sam Curran, who was the player of the tournament in the T20 World Cup in 2024. He every season he has a very good either SA T20 or ILT20. So and they have a one-dimensional attack. Everyone is a right arm seamer. They have been very scared to try out Rehan Ahmed now that he's in the side because of injury to Bryden Cars. So maybe they might get a little bit more spin cover, but you need I mean, I was talking to Dwaipayan offline before we went on air. That as Dwaipayan also was telling me that without having a decent finger spinner in subcontinent conditions, you'll never really qualify for major tournament finals or semi-finals in in these big events without a decent finger spinner in subcontinent conditions.
Japan, on the other hand, Afghanistan, they are hoping that in their debut tournament, they make it to the semi-final, but they also have a tough road ahead because they've lost heavily to South Africa. This England game, they've beaten England in the 23 World Cup. There's an edge to both these games that they're going to play against England and Australia for different reasons. Do you see them rising to the occasion?
There is a chance, like at least they have a chance of beating England. The way England is playing, their one dimensional attitude, their kind of bullishness, one pace cricket, their back of the length bowling, their lack of finger spinners, all those things compound and kind of make them a very one dimensional side on Indian conditions, on subcontinental conditions. They struggle in tests, they struggle in ODIs, they struggle in T20s, everywhere they're struggling. They may end up doing well in the 2027 World Cup, where the conditions will be different. But coming back to Afghanistan, Afghanistan has this has a nice balance to them, like, and if they get to bowl in first and get England for 200, which they can, like Rashid Noor, these are good bowlers. These guys are good bowlers. They know how to bowl. Nabi, all of them. So it's a good attack and it can definitely challenge England. Australia, I don't know. Australia, the pedigree of Australia is so much that if Australia decides that they will put their mind and fight it out, it is difficult for Afghanistan to beat them. But England, they can.
Okay, on that positive note, that's it for the show today, gentlemen. Thanks a lot for joining us from different corners of the world. Gigi, thanks a lot for joining us from Dubai. Sahil, enjoy your downtime, and Nitin as well. Thanks a lot for joining us. And Dwepan, no
Thank
thanks
you.
to you. You have a job to do. You have to go out and explain to Chennaiites why India doesn't have the advantage like one of your brethren from Chennai, Nasser Hussain, has claimed. So I hope you do the job tonight. We'll be back again tomorrow with yet another show. And to everyone watching the show, please keep liking, sharing, subscribing the channel wherever you're watching on whichever platform, but especially on YouTube. Do not forget to press the notification bell. Till tomorrow, please take very good care of yourself. For now, it's good night and God bless.
Thank you.